Hello, I just thought I'd update today on some of the jobs I've been doing with regards to curing and drying some of my vegetables for long-term storage. So I'll be talking about onions, garlic, and my beans, and I pick away at them slowly, so I'll just show you where I'm at today. I come out and harvest pretty much every day and see what needs to come in, and onions is one of those things. As soon as the tops are over, I know that I can look at those for coming in. I like to take any wet. Now I haven't watered these onions for weeks, to be honest. Just letting them dry out on their own. I don't leave mine to fully dry out here because slugs and sow bugs like to eat the stems, and I like to tie mine in braids for hanging. So I catch them just when they flopped over. They're not going to do any more growing, and they also won't be starting to get attacked from wee critters. Once I have my onions for the day picked, I make a big old mess all around my house and I put them anywhere to dry. Of course, if you're a little better than me, you could have an onion drying rack or just any racks that will allow some airflow or newspaper underneath, but I just find I lay them in baskets and tables and it works just great. And ever on my quest for self-sufficiency, I only grow onions that are known for long-term storage. These ones are Stir-On and Red Baron, so you won't see me growing really like a gorgeous Walla Walla or a sweet Spanish onion. They're beautiful, and I do grow the odd one, but not for my storage onions. Checking every few days or so to see at what stage they're drying. There's a perfectly dried one there and there. And then I just braid them up for hanging in my pantry and further curing and drying. Now this basket will probably sit here for a long time. It is just when we need little bits of onions. You don't need as big. We grab from here regularly. And it has things like my bunching onions. It has my green onions that I let a lot dry. I still have a lot of those to harvest. And I even have some walking onions, some of the larger ones left. And just the odd, and some of the Stir-Ons that didn't go anywhere, didn't grow anywhere. Maybe I didn't have them in good soil. So that's just little ones we pick away at. And then I've also been slowly working on bringing the beans in and slowly drying again on the tables. But I grow some beans that are, specific for drying. And but even if when we're tired of having those delicious green beans steamed or whatnot, sometimes you get enough of those, and I just leave them now, and they will be also potted. They will dry just as well as some of the well-known beans for drying. I find each year I'm dedicating more garden bed space for these beans because I really, really enjoy the duality. You can, using them first as a gorgeous fresh bean and then the dried. So I have a bed that's dedicated, and the one you just saw was just a full row up in another area. So this is my little bean area this year. I've pretty much gone through, I've picked most of them, but I have a lot of Amish Nuttall left outside, and a lot of the Scarlet Runner beans, an awful lot of those also yet to come. But I just, even when they're just semi, they're not fully rattling like this, well that one is rattling, but I know that they're just, they're not good for me to use in the freezer because I also do them semi-dry for the freezer. These ones are too much, so I just leave them here to dry off for the last little bit and then pod away pretty much every 2 days too. I sit down at my table here, see what's dried, and drop them in. And because I'm slowly picking away at these also, I use 2 bowls just because some are dried quicker and then the next batch that I've worked on will be slower. You can hear the difference. They're almost dry. All you need to do is try to put your fingernail through that, or you can bite it, I guess. But you hear the difference? These are still not fully dried. When they are, then they go in my jars, which will be sealed. This is lime light bean. It's almost like a lima bean, they call it, but it's not really. It's like a lot of the beautiful white beans we have. This is my Amish Nuttall bean. I know that jar is going to be filled. And then I just have a miscellaneous jar. This would be for something I'm cooking longer, like soups or whatnot. So I don't mind a mixture going in there. I will be separating, though, a separate jar once I get started on these for my runner beans. And just of note, I should also state that I also, these are my semi-dried beans that I take before they're fully dried, still green inside, but the pods have swelled up, and I keep in my freezer, and they're a wonderful boon for me also. I've got a lot more of these to come too. Out here in my garage is my garlic that's been curing. It's okay to cure here. It's been a nice hot summer. These are still looking messy and untidy, and I haven't touched them because I have to go through these soon. One of my duties to do, and choose about 50 heads, 40 to 50, I'd say closer to 50, because what I'm looking for from each head, I have to count the cloves and come up with 200, because I plant 200 cloves in November 1st, probably this year. But I plant 200 each year. That gets me through for a full year. And I'm being lazy this year. I'm not even going to clean these up. They're dry fully now. So I can just cut them off, cut the roots off, and throw them back into a box until I need them in November. Now, these ones haven't even made it past my mudroom yet, but these are ones I've worked on and cleaned up, and they're ready for me to start bunching for hanging. It takes a lot of time to do, so don't do it if you don't want to. But I like the look of them, and they last indoors for me at my ambient temperature without rotting at all, and they just last so perfect. And back at my table now, each night I will grab, a few sets of 10 is what I work on to bunch, and I'll show you those hanging. So now we're in my pantry, and here's some of the garlic that I have completed already. Still have a lot more to go. There's only 30 in here right now. There will be 150 probably. And I have hard neck, so I can't braid these all pretty like. But what I do is I do bunch them so that I can hang them. And they store really, really well here. I've also got some red peppers that are growing well indoors for my red pepper flakes there also. Well, that's some of the drying and curing jobs that I've been working on. It's fun to start bringing the produce in, and then you get a better feel for how well you've done through the season and how well these are going to take you through the winter. And I'm very pleased with this year. Hope your gardens are providing well for you. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much for watching.